After a villain cuts Batman's hand off, and Bruce quickly does some improvised first aid so he can continue going after the criminal immediately, Red Mask manages to escape by jumping inside a multiversal portal, and Batman eventually ends up following right behind using a tracking device to continue his chase. However, as soon as Bruce arrives on the other side and realizes that he was in a Gotham City much darker than normal, Batman is quickly approached by his variant from his 1989 movie and soon asks how his Joker had died. But only to, in the very same second, be pulled by a portal again and fall into another totally different universe. Bruce then continues chasing Red Mask around while being dragged through countless new realities, and after even getting to fight against a vampire Joker, Batman starts getting really disturbed, realizing that his endless battle against Joker was present in practically every universe. And as soon as Batman eventually falls into the universe of the Batman from the Arkham games, and his variant explains that even after his Joker died, his ideas never truly disappeared, and somehow someone similar always returned to keep spreading chaos. Bruce ends up being transported to the Batman Beyond universe, and the elderly Bruce variant explains that he was also tracking Red Mask with his technology, now giving the main Batman a special disc that eventually could take him back home to his universe. However, after the future Joker Tim Drake appears, and Batman ends up being pulled into another universe again, Bruce keeps meeting more and more versions of himself, even getting to come face to face with his variant from the 60s TV series, who decides to give the main Bruce a new utility belt in case he might need it throughout his mission. Bruce then keeps equipping himself more and more with the equipment and technologies of other Batman across the multiverse, like the Dark Knight Returns Batman himself, for example. And after he eventually manages to build a new super powerful multiversal suit, Bruce finally reaches Red Mask at the final edge of the multiverse, which basically was a distorted reality created by Red Mask himself, full of giant Jokerized Megalodon sharks. But as soon as Red Mask releases the sharks after Batman, and Bruce does his best to fight while dodging their attacks, Batman ends up being about to be devoured by one of the sharks, but only until he decides to check his utility belt looking for salvation, and ends up finding the famous shark repellent spray from the 60s TV series Batman, now smiling while thinking that he finally found a Batman more prepared than him, and immediately using the spray to keep the Megalodon away. Bruce then returns to Red Mask, and after calling him a pathetic excuse for evil and simply knocking the villain out with a single punch, Bruce starts thinking about whether he should abandon Red Mask there to go home with his special disc, but only until Robin appears for the rescue and says that he's literally been searching for Bruce throughout the entire multiverse.